I got Cal Pundsack here, longtime trainee, left-handed pitcher, South Florida. Different summer this summer though. Coming back off of TJ rehab, a year out now. At the beginning of summer, 14 months now. Let's talk about your summer, where you started, where you are now, what we did.
Yeah, so throwing-wise throughout the summer, I haven't done any high-intensity throwing really. It was kind of 80 to 90%, a couple bullpens before I came back from school. So I knew going into this summer, wanted to still develop the throwing aspect and start getting some higher velocity and effort in there.
Yeah.
But also a real workout regimen that school wasn't really able to specialize for me just because I was going through surgery. So we knew immediately that needed to get mobile, keep those hips going to allow my arm to be able to stay healthy while throwing, and as well as move some weight faster because the strength baseline was there, but acceleration and jumping aspects have always been kind of low tier for me. Building up, I mean, we've been able to get PRs and pull down numbers already and off the mound indoors, which is great considering I'm only 14 months post-op. And strength-wise, probably the strongest and fastest I've been since.
Yeah, combination-wise, yeah.
Yeah, we've already seen PRs on the jump mat, which is funny for me because I've never been over 28 inches vertical. Sprinting too, I'm surprised myself with some good flying 10 numbers.
Sweet.
Yeah.
One of, I guess, weakness, so to speak, for you, or something that you always have to focus on is hip mobility.
Yeah.
Right? That's a big thing for you that just your God-given flexibility there is not that great. So it's something from day one we've been working on 7 years now. That's been a big focus all the time. Talk about the first block we did for the first 2 weeks, focusing on that mobility and some zone 2 cardio.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of joked with Barrett, got so sick of seeing Viper on my program. And if anyone doesn't know, it's basically a giant tube you hold, and it kind of looks...
Weighted mobility, so to speak.
Yeah, and a lot of the focus was kind of just getting into that hip internal rotation, so being able to rotate into my left hip. And the first week of it was pretty brutal, boring, and miserable.
Yeah, it's tedious stuff.
Yeah,
it's not fun.
It's no one. You look at your program, and you're kind of dreading going through it. But as we progressed through it, definitely saw strides immediately. We're able to increase the weight on the Viper and really get the most out of the movement. So then moving forward into the next progression, which was eccentric stuff, we kind of already had that baseline mobility down, and we were able to load into the proper positions and explode out of them. And I think having those first 2 weeks to train that mobility really was beneficial to the eccentric block, just getting more out of it.
Kind of set the stage.
Yeah.
And then as you saw when you got the eccentric block, it kind of pulls you in a position you don't want to be in. So you kind of have to have that movement or you're going to be like pinned or in a bad position. So we did focus on mobility, talked about hip internal rotation. What specifically on the mound were you trying to do that, like, one, it's not good, so we want to improve that for athletics in general, but what was it specifically on the mound that we were trying to get the internal rotation for?
Yeah, so for me, I've never been able to use my lower half very efficiently when throwing. So a huge focus for me was being able to sit into my back leg and hold that position down the mound longer. And initially just trying that without any of the movement stuff, it was painful and I couldn't really do it that well. So the more we worked on that mobility aspect, naturally I could see the progress on the mound, holding that position down the mound, and as well as it translating into game without having to really think about it too much later on.
So with the eccentric block, we actually had to take away the competitive aspect of it for you guys.
Yeah.
So we had the machines, the eccentric K-pulley and K-box actually measure the speed of the reps and the power that you're putting out. We had to take that away because they were getting too carried away and almost a few injuries, almost issues with it. So once you got into the eccentric block and got kind of the motions down and got a good flow of it, what was the benefit of using that machine specifically?
Yeah, I mean, immediately if you go to use it, anyone use it, you're going to get your butt kicked.
Yeah.
It's very deceiving because it's just a wheel spinning. It doesn't look that difficult.
Right.
But then you actually get pulled down into a different range of motion and you have no idea how to get out of it at first. So I would say the benefit is you're not only training strength, but mobility at the same time.
Yeah.
And also training the strength in that new range of motion, which is something a lot of people don't even realize they don't have.
For sure. And then we finished up after that eccentric block with just pretty much straight like power, speed, moving weight as fast as possible, still trying to get 3 planes of motion. And we ended up now, and that's, I think it was last week when you PR'd on your jumps. So the combination of the three, how do you feel as you get ready to go back to school physically?
I mean, I think it was a perfect way to start and finish this summer, kind of starting with that baseline mobility, training the range of motion and strength, and now using that new foundation for explosiveness was really good. And being able to actually move weight fast is a key component of baseball. Like
any sport, right?
Any explosive movement down the mound. And going into school, I feel more ready than ever for any type of cardio, strength, combination of all three that we go into. So definitely the baseline over the summer is going to prepare me for anything that we do at school. Okay,
so you've never been this nice to me before. So what was something that would be like, I would change this, or if we did this, it would have been even better?
I was excited to see bar bench press on my program, but doing it with 10 pounds on each side and still getting
not moving in your speeds,
annoying, I will say.
So just the humility aspect of that.
Yeah, I would say like seeing bar bench press and then realizing you're doing it with 10 pounds is kind of annoying, but understandable.
Right. So going back to school, throwing wise, ready to face some hitters again. Kind of did a few of that, building up arm strength, and again, that's why hopefully everything that we did in here this summer is kind of the back end of a rehab for you.
Yeah, I kind of had like 20 different goals in mind at first, and being able to consolidate that down and really hammer like the foundational stuff before I move forward into my first full season back from surgery. Yeah, I'm excited. So.